This multifaceted issue has been met with outright stiffness. Nigeria's multi-tribal economy with different religions and cultural beliefs, which includes the role and the place of the female gender in the scheme of things. But as the world evolves, Nigeria, a country in the western part of the African continent, still struggle with the reality of giving women opportunities at the top of the ladder. Today on Women on Wheels, wow, we shall be speaking with one of those women who have successfully broken the barrier, risen to the top of their career, despite all odds. You want to know what I have on the show tonight, right? Then do not turn the dial. You're on to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, and the program is Women on Wheels. This program is brought to you by Toyota Nigeria Limited. I will take a short break. Certainly, when I return, we'll be talking more.
Driving is more than just mechanics. It is about the freedom to express oneself. The driver's seat may seem insignificant, but it holds the power to redefine history. Our new program called Women on Wheels, wow, is focused on every aspect of transportation with women at the wheels. Wow seeks to inspire and motivate you on responsible driving, inform you on the regulations and etiquette in all transportation sectors, educate and expose you to the business side of the wheels industry, and also share the history of wheels with you, our dear listener. Wow! Wow, wow! Live on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Baruwa, Taiwo.
This show is proudly powered by Toyota Nigeria Limited.
Stay tuned.
Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. If you're just tuning in, the program is Women on Wheels and it is brought to you by Toyota Nigeria Limited. Quickly, let's tell you what the roads are looking like at this time. Oh, well, the ones I can see on the screen right now are looking really free at this time. Let's quickly check what we have from the control room. Ajasa Command is very busy around Megida, Yobo axis. No cause for alarm. There are traffic managers there doing what is expected of them. Amule Uluwaga, check roundabout Adefemi, Kola Ojuodu. Command is all looking very good, but approaching command you have it busy due to commercial activities. Ekoro is busy due to the return journey influx, but it's really nothing to worry about, okay? The traffic signal light at Ekoro is working. Inward Ilewe. Alright, women have been conditioned to face numerous challenges such as unconscious bias, limited career advancement, sexual and gender-based harassment, and the list seem endless, right? I took these assumptions to my guest on the show tonight, and she begs to differ, stating that there is absolutely nothing, impossible for a woman to achieve. Florence Modupe Allo is the CEO of Elldalls Management Services here in Nigeria. She shared with me her journey being a wife, a mother, and a career woman. Lagos, join me as I bring to you a conversation with Mrs. Florence Modupe Allo.
Is it safe to say that you have been a facilitator all your life, aside from the lecturing job at Yaba Tech?
I have been the one who appointed facilitators. I'm the coordinator of all the programs, recruit facilitators to work for me.
Okay.
I still work as a training consultant at my own way when I want. Although currently I want to also train for Jack Motors, which is part of Toyota. But I know I only work now when I want.
Okay.
being a training consultant, do you have your own personal consultancy service aside from working with Toyota?
No, I have my own business.
Okay.
Elldalls Management
Elldalls, okay.
Management.
Okay.
We call ourselves trainers to the nation. Yes, it is also a recruitment service.
Okay.
We recruit for people. We sit on the boards of important establishments to help them interview and recruit people.
How long have you been operating in this space?
Since 1992.
That's about 32 years. And how has the journey been?
Well, beautiful because it was a choice I made.
As a facilitator, a trainer, what would you say was the high point of your career and the lowest point of that career for you?
The high point is when I meet people who have gone through my training and they have become really successful. That makes me feel good, really good.
How about the challenging time, the most challenging?
Well, sometimes when I worked in Yaba College of Business, unhappy when students had problems with fellow lecturers and they are fisticuffs. When students have problems with fellow lecturers and they are not really happy, that makes me very unhappy. And sometimes I go to talk for them to say, please be patient with this child. All right?
Okay. Now, let's talk about some of the challenges you might have encountered being a female in facilitating, in training people at different stages.
Well, I find that pleasantly for me, the men wonder that a woman in what they think is a man's world, and they respect me, and they look up to me. And the men that I invite to come and facilitate for me, they are very, very supportive, and they are very happy. And they usually say, oh, madam, you're still working. I mean, that we're very proud of you. One of them is one Mr. Korode, who I think he's late now. He was he was in charge of a chartered institute of management. Something personnel management. He's in personnel management.
Okay.
It was very encouraging, and I was very proud of him. You know, that's in an area where you would think that men would envy you. No, but they didn't envy me. They supported me. And that made me very happy.
Let's look at some of the challenges that women actually encounter, especially as a mother, as a wife. The kind of career you have chosen is such that exposes you to, meeting a lot of people. It exposes you to having to partner with a lot of people because as a facilitator, as a trainer, you have to collaborate, you have to network, and as a woman. Was it at any point challenging for you, in being a wife and a mother, merging your career with it?
Wow, I think to some extent it was a challenge because there are some things you need to do at home and you're rushing out because you must meet some deadlines. And at times like that, my husband will wonder what's going on here. Because you have work, so the house will not eat or something, or you're not going to prepare before you leave. But then it was very reasonable, and I would always say, well, the cook is there, the housekeeper is there. I've made everything, all the things, and they usually understand.
Some women don't go really far, or they don't soar high, just basically because in this part of the world, we believe it's a man's world, right? And that has really kept a lot of women, in that corner, in that small box of that little space, and then take care of themselves. They don't dream big. For you, you have gotten to a certain level in your career. How did you do it?
Well, the big thing is that you must know who you are in a relationship, especially in a marriage. I always let my husband know that he's the boss. And sometimes when I have so much work to do, he supports me. He wasn't a small man.
Okay.
He let me feel his weight behind me. He retired as Surveyor General of the Federation.
Wow.
So he wanted me to shine too. Although I always said to him I'd been shining from my father's house. And my children are not different. They wanted me to do well.
Amazing.
Sometimes I had to program into location. One child, when they grew up especially, was ready to stand in for me with a facilitator whilst I'm reporting at the other side. I think God has been good to me.
All right, amazing. God has been good at the home front. Let's now talk about the workspace.
Okay.
In the work environment, sometimes it can be quite challenging for women. People are having a better understanding of why the women should be more engaged. But in the past, I mean, you are way older. The narrative used to be the place of a woman is the kitchen, the place of a woman is the home. And so, even in the work environment, men dominate. How are you able to navigate your way?
I believe that I was raised to be a standard for the women. When we were much younger, people didn't marry graduates because they thought they won't make good wives. But at the time that we were growing up, the men and the women were growing together and the university together. And nobody wanted to see you behind. In fact, after maybe 10 years after you have graduated, you meet your colleagues who are men. They want to hear that you are doing so well too, as well as they're doing, if not better. I have classmates who are very supportive of me, who would do anything for me because my work is going well. Even my lecturers are ready to support me.
Where do you draw the line between a woman that is career oriented, that is dedicated to work, and the one that allows the job to get into her head? Let's just put it that way.
Well, I think the thing with me is that I've always thought that home comes first. And because my husband knows that, he's willing to support me at any time. I mean the home and then the career.
Okay.
I will not career away from home when my husband and children are there and think that I don't really know what I want to make. Is it money? No, it's not in the equation for me. Because my husband was a provider, and rather than make me start running around for money, he would rather provide for me. And even they try to not encourage me to run after money, so much money. He would always say, well, you are not going to sleep in 2 rooms, you are not going to ride 2 cars at the same time.
Wow.
Let's be content with what we have.
Mrs. Allo, so in the past, our parents used to focus more on careers such as being a medical doctor, being an accountant. But one thing I have come to realize, in the kind of field where you thrive, which is the recruitment and consultancy service, which is more of like a HR thing, it never used to be something lucrative. It's now a big thing out there. What was it like for your parent when you decided to, choose that as your career?
I think they wanted me to be a lawyer, but my family is not scientific. I wanted to be a lawyer too. There was even a time I wanted to be a medical doctor.
Wow.
But somebody said, no, they were inviting me to be a nurse. And somebody said when the doctor is operating, the nurse will be wiping his face. And I thought, you have done all the sciences, why would I be wiping your face? So I decided not to be a nurse. But I was never really very good in science.
One thing that caught my attention in the course of my conversation with Mrs. Florence Modupe Allo is when she said she was actually raised, to be a standard, a benchmark for women. And then she went on to say that you have studied all the sciences. She studied the same sciences, and then she will be in the theater to wipe your face. For what exactly? All right, then you're still listening to Women on Wheels here on Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. If you are just tuning in, you have been listening to my conversation with Mrs. Florence Modupe Allo, the CEO, Elldalls Management Services in Nigeria. We continued our chat, and she told me that aside from taking up leadership roles, she's also a fierce driver behind the wheel of a car. She went on to say that as a woman, if you desire something, you can as well achieve it, as failure isn't the end of life.
So, how did it feel for you choosing this kind of career and then seeing friends and associates who are medical doctors and lawyers and the likes? And was it even lucrative in the past?
To the extent that it gave me satisfaction, it was okay. I have friends, classmates, who are doctors, lawyers, whatsoever, and we flow.
Do you drive?
My children say I can drive on air.
Really? Tell me about it.
But I'm trying not to drive anymore. My car is parked outside, and I haven't used it in about a month since they brought it to the house.
Why is that?
No, I don't want to drive anymore. You know, the children are trying to organize for a driver, but the driver that came didn't charm me, so I didn't take him.
Oh, wow. I would like to hear your experience on, driving in Lagos or outside of Lagos, interstate. What was your experience like?
Well, I used to drive outside Lagos, drive to Ibadan, drive to Abeokuta. Yeah, as I grew older, my husband didn't want me to be driving his children because he says I drive like I'm flying. I love driving.
Wow.
Now I'm not driving. I'm trying not to drive anymore. My special car is the Toyota. I've used Toyota in any form, any type. I use RAV4, the Crown,
Wow.
and the one I have now is the Highlander.
What fascinates you about the Toyota brand?
Well, indirectly, I'm part of the Toyota family. There's nothing about the Toyota that you cannot fix locally.
Okay.
Nearby. It's a very, very good car for women especially. You can manage it. You can do anything. It gives you peace of mind. That's the Toyota for you. At any level, anytime.
Do you think women are difficult to deal with, especially being leaders at the helm of affairs?
They could be sometimes. Sometimes the background decide how you deal with people.
Okay.
If you look at the other person, put yourself in the place of the other person,
Okay.
then you will do to them what you would like anybody to do to you.
To you.
But sometimes you find that the men are biased. And when they see women at the top, they may feel not so good. But then the woman is the one who will now step forward and let the men know that we are good. We may be women, but we are good. That's the way I look at that. The women have something to do to clear themselves, and the men need to understand that the women are just like them.
There is also this myth that when women are in charge, they tend to be bossy. How true is this?
Well, in the midst of, I used to work in a place where there were about 13 or 15 men, and I was the only woman.
Wow.
But whenever I entered into the boardroom, they raised their glasses to me.
Wow.
Because I was never rude to any of them.
Okay.
And no matter how late it is, I will arrive. And that's what they always said. That, oh, don't worry, Mrs. Allo. Even if it's the dime minute, she will arrive. But I didn't like that because you must be always punctual.
You want to give us some simple tips on how best to, be a good manager as a woman?
I have a young woman who works with me, and she thinks that in the North, the woman is not meant to be hard. Even that has changed now. Depending on where you're coming from, depending on what education you've had. In the North, we have women who are judges now.
True.
we have some who are medical doctors,
Sure.
lawyers.
How does it feel working with men? I mean, you mentioned earlier that at the board, you were the only woman in the midst of about 15 men. How does it feel?
It was just natural. I knew my onions. I wasn't daft. We could hold conversations, and among them were expatriates. It
Okay.
didn't matter. I mean, I just saw them as colleagues
Okay.
working together. There was no need. There was no qualms about whatever. They knew they were working well. They knew what they were doing. Everybody was knowledgeable, and we just exchanged ideas, made progress, made programs together, submitted to management, and all. There wasn't any funny feeling.
Are women still being marginalized? Do you believe we're still being marginalized, especially in terms of legislation
I think so.
and government policies?
I think so because even now in the present government, we don't have enough women. Although in this Tinubu government, we have many women.
Okay.
But in the past, we didn't have many because Buhari thought that the woman belongs to the other room. But it shouldn't be like that. I think both men and women should have equal rights.
Okay.
If they are knowledgeable and educated and good enough for the job. In Lagos State, we have had about 3 women who have been judges.
Yes.
Yeah, they have been good lawyers and good magistrates and good judges, and they became chief judge at the end of the day. So I
Okay.
believe that the judiciary is one place where in the past where you had your position without being marginalized or being pushed on the side. But it's a bit different now because not now out of seniority. In the past, it used to be according to seniority, and you're sure you'll get where you want to get to. But somehow something happened in the middle, somehow, and it doesn't work like that anymore.
How would you describe driving in Lagos?
Well, you have to learn to watch the times, depending on where you are, going from where to where.
Okay.
For right now, if you're going to Lagos or to the island, you know that you don't want to leave home earlier than 9 o'clock. Because
Okay.
after 9 o'clock, before 9 o'clock, the road's jammed.
Okay.
O'clock, it is better. And then when you're leaving the island, leave at about 2 before you enter into traffic. It's a question of studying where you are, what you want to do, what you want to achieve. The Lagos traffic used to be really, really, really bad. But now, with no fuel and all that, no money, everybody is trying to keep cool.
Absolutely. So, have you ever encountered being bullied behind the wheel?
Oh, I've learned not to listen, just to relax and be nice to them.
All right. On a final note, what would be your pattern short? What would be your advice to the younger generation, especially the women?
Don't get left behind. Get educated. Because you have failed your school start doesn't mean that you should stay there.
Okay.
Try again. Make sure you're standing shoulder to shoulder with the men when it comes to education. And make sure that you don't just find a man and marry him. In the past, the parents will go to the roots of the man you're going to marry.
True.
And they wanted to just go anywhere. They know what's happening. They know your grandfather, your grandparents, and you know theirs. But now, a girl finds a boy and just marries the person. And then they brutalize the girl and that's running back. It's not good enough. Let the parents continue to do the searches that were done in the past. Let children not just marry just anybody. Let give the parents a chance to support them.
All right, then. Thank you so much, Mrs. Modupe Allo. It's been a wonderful time having you on the program. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. All right, that's the size of our package. I'm afraid we're running out of time.
It's the size of a package on today's edition of the show, Women on Wheels. And I hope you had a great time. The edition has profiled the CEO, Elldalls Management Services Nigeria, Florence Modupe Allo, and I hope you had a great time listening to her. This show has been brought to you by Toyota Nigeria Limited, and it has been produced by Fomilade Akingbagbom Idowadiemi and Ajose Oluwali. Special thanks to our social media handler tonight, Debbie Bolodioku. Maximum thanks to Victor Terry. Our executive producer is Tayo Akoli, and I am Taiwo Baruwa. Until the program makes a return next week, Tuesday at 7:30, it is bye for now.